Paul Jones Drug is Elk City's most experienced compounding pharmacy, meaning they can custom make your prescription medications to your doctor's specifications, safely and effectively providing you with exactly what you need. And for your convenience, Paul Jones Drug has a drive-through pickup window as well as curbside service for testing and vaccinations, and offers free local delivery. Just a couple reasons you should choose Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main Street in Elk City.
I'm Rodney Skinner with Paul Jones Drug, and I promise we provide care you can trust.
Paul Jones Drug is Elk City's most experienced compounding pharmacy, meaning they can custom make your prescription medications to your doctor's specifications, safely and effectively providing you with exactly what you need. And for your convenience, Paul Jones Drug has a drive-through pickup window as well as curbside service for testing and vaccinations, and offers free local delivery. Just a couple reasons you should choose Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main Street in Elk City.
I'm Rodney Skinner with Paul Jones Drug, and I promise we provide care you can trust.
If you build it, he will. It's the Skinny on Sports Podcast with Aaron Cow.
I throw balls far. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Cow with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
It's a good Paul Jones Drug Tuesday out there, Western Oklahoma. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the sports animal. Glad to have you along for the next hour. May talk a little baseball at the end of the show. Baseball? Got any baseball talk in you, Jared? I'm sure you're just chomping at the bit to talk about baseball.
Well, all kinds of baseball.
Your Rangers?
A little worried now.
What did you take, 2 out of 3 from Houston?
Yes.
2 out of 3 from
the Astros.
From the Astros?
Yes. But DeGrom was working on a no-hit in 4 innings, got pulled last night. Sore wrist.
That's always the problem for him.
Here we go. But I think it might have been more out of precautionary reasons. They already up 4-0. Like, you know what? Let's go ahead and pull him. He probably agreed to it.
Yeah.
And I have a theory. I got a baseball question for you.
And my Brew Crew, tough break for them last night, even though they won.
What happened?
Same situation.
Oh, no.
Corbin Burns left with a pectoral strain. And a 7-3 win over the Mariners. 12-5 for the Brew Crew. One of the best records in Major League Baseball.
Pretty good.
Off to a good start. So we'll talk a little baseball maybe at the end of the show. Also, I just saw this drop on ESPN's website, so maybe we can kind of react to it at the same time. As Kuiper and McShay alternate the first 3-round mock draft where they go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So we can look at that. NBA playoffs last night. Philly's up 2-0. Sacramento is up 2-0 over the defending champs. Draymond Green. This is going to be uncomfortable for me because I may have to actually take up for Draymond Green in this situation. Or maybe not as much take up for Draymond, but let's shine the light a little bit on Domantas Sabonis here and his role in what happened last night. So we can talk that coming up tonight. Let's see, you've got, Game 2s, Boston, Atlanta, Cleveland, and New York, and then Phoenix and the Clippers. Phoenix and Cleveland both, maybe not must-wins, but it's getting pretty close. You don't want to go down 0-2 with the 2 losses on your home floor. So, interesting stuff going on tonight in the NBA playoffs and last night. And then a little spring sports update from yesterday. I was completely wrong, Jared, about the way the tiebreak works.
Oh, really?
With the district baseball.
Oh.
It is not over. It is not over.
Well, I thought, okay.
Yet. I thought it was. It is not. I'll tell you why it's not. I'll tell you what's going on today, what happened yesterday. What's going on today? The Western Athletic Conference golf tournament, girls golf tournament, was held yesterday over at Weatherford, Prairie West. Give you some results there. Small schools are gearing up for districts this week in the fast pitch and also the baseball. 225-9698 is the phone or the text line. 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We can talk about any of those things. Whatever else might be on your mind on this Paul Jones Drug Tuesday, feel free to chime in at 225-9698. If you're outside the listening area, a couple ways to stay in touch with the show. Log on to kadsam.com or download the Paragon app. It's got it all. Radio, Penny News, Big Elk Paragon TV. We got the Skinny on Sports podcast. It's everywhere. You can find podcasts each and every day. If you missed the show entirely, you can go back and check that out. What are you doing, Jared?
Answering a question on my personal text line.
I have a question for you.
Completely unsports related.
I have a question for you that is completely unsports related as well.
What's that?
Did you know that Carter had Uber?
No.
And that it would go to Will Rogers World Airport.
That is crazy because I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day before all this came up. Who was I talking to? Might have been our man Philip downstairs. I was talking about what stops anybody from being like working for Uber or any kind of rideshare out here. I don't see it out here. Are there population restrictions that they look at and go, no, you can't do it. There's not enough people in your area.
Yeah,
but
I don't
apparently,
know.
there isn't Carter. Yeah.
That was crazy. What a crazy story.
How do these yahoos think they're going to fly out of Oklahoma City without being flagged?
Have they not?
I don't know.
There's
no end to this story yet. I don't know. Allegedly going to Oklahoma City to Will Rogers World Airport to try to fly home, apparently. To Mexico.
So it was L.A. County is where they stole this vehicle?
That's what from the information I got.
Okay. I'm just kind of going, as things kind of come out about this.
Piecing it together, it looks like they stole it with paper tags. You could assume they stole a car off of the lot, if not from somebody who immediately bought it. They were heading east on I-40. They got picked up or pulled over at Wheeler County, Texas.
That's where they took off.
That's where they took off. That's where they were able to get that body cam footage, pictures of the suspects.
Yes.
High-speed chase went into Beckham County. Multiple agencies assisted. They somehow hit south on, what's the highway going through Carter? Help me.
283.
That area.
Highway 34.
They lost them by what's called blacking out the car, which is you turn off every light.
Yeah, see, that's interesting that happens.
They found the car stuck.
I got stuck. How did it get stuck?
Oh, it was a Challenger, so a little. I'm sure
low down.
Kind of they were trying to either a bar ditch or something like that, and they got high centered, and then they fled the car. They got word after a few hours that the suspect may be armed and dangerous, and this morning you saw that alert that a rideshare company picked him up somewhere near Carter and took him to Will Rogers World Airport, all allegedly. And that's where the story ends. And I was talking to my wife about this morning. I mean, there's so much, post 9/11, there's so much security you have to go through in an airport. You'd think a red flag would come up on these two. Do they have the credentials to get through security,
Yeah.
IDs, all that stuff? And I go, oh, you know what? You're actually wanted in L.A. County.
Yeah, except for nobody knows who they are.
Well, maybe they do in L.A.
Yeah, maybe so. That's very, very true. Possum lives out there. I wonder if he saw him. He said Sandy Road is what happened.
Sandy Road. Okay.
Sandy Road.
Gotcha.
Got stuck, high-centered.
Yeah, welcome to Western Oklahoma.
See, I can see people that aren't from here, like looking out and thinking, oh, look at all that open space, and then driving right through a barbed wire fence, getting caught, and then just not being able to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like thinking there's roads all over the place, and they're really on the only one in a square mile or two. It's very interesting.
I almost had a theory that because they were able to elude police, that they were once from here and they're familiar with the back roads. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I think more than half of that was just dumb luck. They got away.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
it helps
exactly
that they're
what
in a
happened.
vehicle that can go about $150.
Yeah. Yeah, they stole the correct vehicle to be able to perform admirably, if that's really not the right word, but successfully.
Dukes of Hazzardly.
Yeah, in a running from the cops situation.
Man.
One thing I do know.
I hope they get them, really.
It seems like anytime you try to run from the cops, eventually you get caught.
You are not going to run. You're going to get caught eventually. Mm-hmm. You're going to get caught eventually.
They probably made it further than most.
Yeah, well, there's no medal for that. You're going to get caught eventually. You're going to jail.
Like you think, I think of that kind of opening scene, one of the first few scenes of Ocean's 11, where they're laying out the plan to rob a casino, and they go back through like the 3 closest. Nobody's ever robbed one, but the closest they got.
The guy got out.
He got to actually breathe fresh air before he got smoked in the face with the baton. Feels like what this is.
That guy or the guy that I thought it was a guy who was in the parking lot and they shot the dude.
Yeah, they may have shot him.
He threw the money everywhere.
Yeah, they may have shot him.
Yeah. No,
that's kind of the way this feels.
It is. It's just a matter of time before they are apprehended.
And they've made it further than anybody thought they would.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations, but you're still going to get caught.
You just added more charges to your long list of already charges. Anyways.
So
crazy.
Yeah, that's a.
But seriously, I'm about to download Uber and see if I can get a ride. There are times where I'm thinking, "Hey, Allie, let's go to this thing. We got a babysitter tonight." She goes, "Well, who's going to drive?"
Uber.
Well, let's get an Uber. It says in Oklahoma City. And you look, there's nothing. I know there's other taxi services out here.
Oh yeah,
but
we have built-in Uber.
But I thought, what stops somebody from wanting to make wanting to moonlight as an Uber driver? You know how many Uber drivers I've had in the city, and I ask them what they do for a living? You know what they tell me?
What?
Teachers.
Oh, that makes sense.
And on the weekend, they're Uber drivers.
Yeah, and then here coming up in about a month, they can do it for 3 months straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Supplement, make whole nother income.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yesterday, we talked about a huge baseball game over in Weatherford. Elk City and Weatherford fighting for the district title.
It looked like a fight.
Huh?
I mean, not an actual fight.
Okay.
It looked like
I didn't know that.
It was a good game for most
3-1, then it ends up being 11-3. The Elks pull away and defeat Weatherford 11-3. Run their district record to 11-0. Weatherford suffers their first loss in the district at 10-1. That it's still, yesterday I knew what the run differentials were. Thinking, okay, Weatherford can't catch up. Well, that's not the truth. I was sent by our man J Mac, so I told him, congratulations on the district title. And he said, not quite yet. I'm like, what? I'm so confused. Well, here's how it works. Essentially, if you have a 2-team tie, so if Weatherford were to win today, it does come down to run differential, but it does not come down to run differential throughout the district season. It comes down to run differential in the 2 games you split between the 2 teams that are tied. So in order for Weatherford to win the tie break, they have to beat the Elks by 9. To not only beat them, but they have to beat them by 9 today.
So Elks could suffer a loss, but if they lose like 4-3.
As long as they don't lose by 9 runs, 8 would be a tie, and then the next tie break, I think it goes down to how you did against the other teams, like the next best team. And then and eventually it'll get to where Elk City wins that way because of run differential. They've got every run possible against the rest of the district, whereas Weatherford didn't. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Eventually you get down to the team like Clinton. Oh, look at there. Elk City got 20 against Clinton. Weatherford got 14. There's your tiebreaker, what have you. So the Elks are obviously in a great position after the win yesterday, bouncing back from the 18-game win streak snapper on Saturday against Mount St. Mary. But 11-3 over there, so the return game is today. And so once again, it's even better than we thought, right? Come on out. It's still – the district title is still up for grabs.
Yeah, there's still something to play for here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
5 o'clock right here at Ackley Park on Charlie Joy Field. I know that we mentioned it yesterday. The Big Elk baseball team is invited. They went to the Dream League field a couple of weekends ago. Mm-hmm. They have turned around and invited the Dream Leaguers to the game today, the regular season home finale here at the end of the district schedule. So that'll be cool. It's going to be warm. I imagine there's going to be a big, giant crowd on hand for the game tonight. 5 o'clock right here at Ackley Park, Elk City and Weatherford for the 4A4 district title. Also, interesting results in District 2 yesterday as Chickasha knocks off Blanchard 9-5. So those two teams are in the same boat as Elk City and Weatherford. Blanchard has to turn around now and beat Chickasha by 5 runs. And that's interesting. Why? Because whoever doesn't win that district is coming here. Uh-oh. If it ties and runs, it goes to who won the last game between the two. So actually that would be Weatherford if they win. Say they win by 8. So there you go.
Okay.
So it really is on the line completely.
To just get the W.
That's right. Anyway, so Chickasha beats Blanchard 9-5 yesterday. Those two teams have separated themselves from everybody else. So it's the only possibility of a tie there is between two teams, just kind of like it is in 4A4. So that's something to keep an eye on because whoever ends up second in that district is a possible regional opponent in a couple of weeks. Because you get the number 4 team out of District 1, you get the number 2 team out of 2, 3 out of 3, and obviously 4A4 it will be the champion. So a lot to look for here today, once again, on the baseball diamond. So what I'm telling you is if Chickasha is able to win today, they cement themselves at the top of District 2, and the Elks would have to go through the defending champion in regionals right here at Ackley Park if they're able to win the district as well. So lots still up in the air here as we get near the end of the baseball schedule. Also, Western Athletic Conference Girls Golf Tournament yesterday over at Prairie West in Weatherford. Lady Eagles are the conference champs. Team score of 355. Rachel Caruth is the individual medalist from Weatherford with an 82. I think McKinley Elwick was next from Weatherford. Brett Barnett from Elk City was third. Elkettes were third at 371. Clinton was second at 369. So Weatherford, then Clinton, then Elk City in that conference tournament over there in Weatherford yesterday. Bunch of small school action. As everybody, I'm sure they're done for the week, or play on Monday, get a game in, and now everybody's starting to point toward later on in the week when we've got district baseball, district slow pitch softballs getting started here. I know we talked about it yesterday. Leady's on Thursday, Canute's Wednesday and Thursday. Everybody will get going with all this stuff. So it's nearing the end already. It's crazy to think about, but man, we'll be crowning state baseball and fast pitch champions here very, very shortly. Golf and track and everything else. It's all winding down, Jared.
A whirlwind.
You going to be able to go give us reports from the baseball there at Canute or the slow pitch there in Canute?
Can I get paid for that?
No.
Then I can't leave work now.
I'm just talking about you're not going to go watch. Is it during the day?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
If memory serves me right. I mean, I can definitely give you what Game Changer will give us. Maybe, who will be there. We'll just get our man Jeremy to do it. He could text me. No problem. He's listening right now, I'm sure. Let me double check the time on these. Maybe. Get back with me.
Okay. Let's cut out the spring sports there. So we have a lot to unpack coming in here tomorrow with the results from around in these baseball districts. And then, like I said, heck, tomorrow we'll start seeing some district play around the state, I think, in slow pitch or the small school baseball.
Yeah.
It's Paul Jones Drug Tuesday. Our man Rodney Skinner at Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main Street right here in Elk City. Paul Jones Drug, Sports. Care you can trust. Free delivery right here in the Elk City area. Tell you more about him when we come back. Also, hit the NBA playoffs. Draymond gonna Draymond. But was it okay this time?
Paul Jones Drug offers a free service that makes taking your daily medications safe and easy. It's called convenience packaging, meaning they can combine all your daily medications and put them in sealed, separate daily packages. This process replaces you from having to fill your daily medication dispenser. And as always, Paul Jones Drug prepares individual blister packaging for long-term care patients. With their drive-through window, curbside service, and free local delivery, it's just more reasons you should choose Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main Street in Elk City.
I'm Rodney Skinner with Paul Jones Drug, and I promise we provide care you can trust.
The Skinny on Sports.
Welcome back, Skinny on Sports on a Paul Jones Drug Tuesday, 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Paul Jones Drug is the oldest compounding pharmacy in Elk City. They also have the free local delivery I mentioned, drive-through pickup, curbside testing and vaccinations. The blister packs, the long-term care unit packaging is available there as well. All kinds of stuff at Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main. You can call them 580-225-2121. Paul Jones Drug is care you can trust right here in the Elk City area. Well, Jared, thankfully there was nothing controversial that happened last night in the NBA playoffs. Everything went just smooth as silk, nothing crazy. Oh, wait. Yeah, well, maybe not. Philly beat Brooklyn 96-84 to take a 2-0 lead. I think that one is destined to be either a real sweep or that gentleman's sweep that goes 5 games. But the interesting result last night is Sacramento, the Kings that have not been in a playoff series in 17 years, snapping the longest drought in professional sports here in North America of not making the playoffs. And you look up, and the Sacramento Kings have, what do they call it, light the beam?
Yeah. Well,
did you know about this
no.
until the other day? I'd
Well,
never
listen,
heard of
there's
this.
not a lot I know about the Sacramento
Well,
Kings and their traditions. Their one tradition was broke this year, and that was not making playoffs forever.
Is Vlade Divac still on the team? Chris Webber? That's the last time I knew about the Kings. Doug Christie?
Cousins played for him.
And never went to the playoffs.
Right.
He might have there early on. But anyway, I don't think so, though.
I don't think they did.
Yeah. So, Sacramento now with a 2-0 lead over the defending champion Golden State Warriors. Win last night 114-106. But all anybody is going to be talking about today isn't necessarily what happened on the scoreboard in the game. It is what happened in the middle of the lane between Domas Sabonis and, of course, Draymond Green. Both sides of this, actually,
For those who don't know, explain what happened.
Sabonis got knocked down. He fell to the floor. He grabs Draymond's leg, wouldn't let it go. Draymond wiggles away and stomps his chest, essentially. Draymond says, where was I supposed to go? I couldn't. There was nowhere else for my foot to land because he was off balance, which he kind of was. I also think he meant to do what he did. Sabonis is now saying he was trying to protect his face, protect his head when he fell. Just so happened to bear hug Draymond's leg. No one believes that either. And so both were in the wrong here. And I think, there's no doubt, that for the first time maybe in his career, Draymond Green was not the instigator of this dust-up. Would you agree with that statement?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with the grabbing of the leg, absolutely.
Domas Sabonis absolutely instigated everything that happened by grabbing Draymond's leg and holding on to it, not letting go. And Draymond stomped his chest. And you know how I know it was a stomped chest? He admitted, I didn't stomp his chest that hard. After saying there wasn't really anywhere to go.
Listen, bro, I've stomped some chests before.
But honestly, feeling sorry is not it. I don't feel sorry for Draymond Green here. I don't. Because a lot of this he brings on himself with, I don't know, kicking Steven Adams in the testicles a couple of times in a series. Getting thrown out of the finals that year that really kind of was the catalyst to LeBron and the Cavs coming back to win that series down 3-1. He brings a lot of this on himself. But I will say, I really don't necessarily have a problem with what he did last night. It was a tight space. There really wasn't anywhere to go. Now, did he probably consciously go, gosh, I have nowhere to go? Oh, there's his chest. Whammo. Yeah, probably. But at the same time,
the way he was looking down.
He was looking down. He was looking down like, why is my foot getting grabbed?
But then
he kind of lost.
The way he brought down his.
Oh, yeah, he stomped his chest.
Like, come on, bro. Show a little restraint. But I get it with Sabonis grabbing him like that.
If it was anybody else, we would be talking more about the foot grab than the stomp. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that?
Oh, sure. Here's why I think it's brilliant on Sabonis' part. Because he knew whose foot he was grabbing.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that.
He was instigating this. And the rest of the league knows this. And the rest of the league will probably always try to do this. To get under his skin. To get a reaction like that. To get him teed up and thrown out. And possibly suspended for a next game. Especially in the playoffs.
Isn't it interesting that the guy that prides himself on being the instigator is now getting that used against him in this way?
Yeah. It's almost funny. Nobody's hurt because the X-rays have come out negative. And
did you see that Draymond wants X-rays on his ankle? No, I'm serious.
Okay.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah, go get him.
Because Sabonis said, X-ray of my chest. So now Draymond's saying, my right ankle hurts, and it only happened because it got grabbed.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the back and forth.
Next thing you know, Draymond's going to walk in for Game 3 with a neck brace on and and a walking boot and crutches or one of those wheel things that you put one leg on and you wheel in. Just really trying to sell it. You see him when they walk in with all their suits and looking good. And you'll see him walk in, my foot hurts. Sabonis' chest was like a iron plate. Now, listen, Draymond brings it. You're right. He brings it on himself. Like I said, I think Sabonis absolutely meant to grab his leg to instigate that reaction and to get exactly what, boom, tee him up. And the league's going to look at, see if he should be suspended for Game 3 or not. And Game 3 should be interesting. I don't think he'll be suspended. I don't. Because it's not like he seeked out Sabonis to step on his chest. He looked down but the way he did it, I think the punishment has been handed out. The rightful amount of punishment has been handed out.
Was it though?
Do you think he should be suspended?
I don't think he should have been kicked. I think if one of them got kicked out of the game, the other one should.
Okay.
That's where I have a problem with it, in that the instigator of the entire thing got off, and I guess that happens, and it's another thing because it's Draymond. The officials know it too. They're tired of him screaming in their face, so they're able to say, "Oh, you stomped him. You're out of here." But at the same time, I think Sabonis is getting off so light on this. But once again, he brings it on himself. And then the one thing you can't really defend is the reaction afterwards, where he's out in the middle of the. He literally looked like a WW or WCW heel, getting the crowd coming at him as he gets kicked out of the.
That's got to stop. That's where you got to stop milking or egging it on like that. Because they're just proving everybody's points. Like, we can just get under your skin. We can just get in your head, and it will change the game. Even from the fans, listen, NBA players, you don't want the fans to interact with you. You want them to stop. Then don't do that stuff. What Draymond did after, egging them on and stuff like that. You're just asking for it. It just tells me he's kind of mentally, is he weak?
I think he doesn't. I believe he thinks he's strong, and this isn't bothering him.
Oh, it's bothering him.
to where it's an advantage for him, but I don't know that it is. Let's talk about Sabonis' reaction. I'm just watching a video right here. Does Draymond ever get kicked out if Sabonis doesn't?
Again, Sabonis, no, he's like, I got to sell this because they're going to kick him out.
I mean, it looked like he got shot in the chest.
Yeah. So he sold it.
Happens all the time.
It's almost no different than a soccer player who gets
That's what it reminds you
tripped
of.
up and they're rolling around.
I didn't see the magic spray that comes out and cures everybody of everything there on the sidelines at Sacramento. Maybe the ejection is what was the magic spray for Sabonis. I mean, it's pretty funny to me. This is the part like when you talked about back when the Thunder were still in the play-in and what you wanted to see and this and that. Mm-hmm. This is the good part about not having a dog in a fight, because you can just watch this and look at it totally objectively. This isn't a Thunder guy or any of that, and you can just kind of laugh at both of them.
Well, still part of
the absurdity.
Part of the Thunder fan in me just loves to see Green get tossed, because of the stuff we've seen way back with the flailing of the limbs that made contact with the jewels of Steven Adams.
Yes.
I mean, part of me is like, all right, I always remember that, But yeah, you're right. When that's part of the fun, kind of like the NCAA tournament when OU and OSU's not in. It's just fun to sit back and enjoy it. Same thing with the playoffs. Thunder had their incredible run. It's done. You can sit back and enjoy these playoffs. And it is fun to sit back, eat your popcorn, and watch this drama unfold.
I'll tell you what's nuts.
But again, part of me is like, all right, Draymond, just kind of grind your teeth at it, right?
Here's what's nuts. This is the first time Golden State's been down 2-0 in a series since Steph has been on that team. That is crazy. They've never been down 0-2, ever. Don't try to think of one, because they haven't. Never.
Since Steph has been on that team.
Since Steph has been on the team, anytime they've been in the playoffs, they've never been down 0-2, ever. This is the very first time that's ever happened.
Are we sure about that?
I'm 100% sure about it. Who do you think was ahead of them 0-2 or 2-0? It wasn't Oklahoma City. They won game 1 and lost game 2. And then Oklahoma City won 2 at home.
They went up 3-1.
That's correct. But it wasn't 0-2. Draymond actually said,
That's right.
This is the one we haven't seen yet. We conquered all the rest of them, so why not go conquer this one? Talking about being down 0-2. They've never faced this deficit. Part of the reason is, Jared, for the most part, they play the first 2 games at home in a lot of these series.
That's true
throughout the years. They really haven't. They haven't been the road team in very many of these things throughout that. The early ones. But once they got established, they've been. Yeah. They've had the best record there here and there. So we'll see what.
We know what percentagely, is that a word? Teams have come back from 0-2. Like the chances of them coming back.
I'm going to say if you win the first 2 games, you win the series probably 82% of the time. How much higher?
92.
Oh my gosh.
So
8%.
Based on the numbers, Golden State has an 8% chance of coming back.
Do you give them a higher chance than that?
I've been just this year saying, okay, Golden State's just waiting to turn on during the playoffs. Well, I'm still kind of waiting for that, right? But I'm starting to question are we seeing age? The first thing I noticed was gray hair and Draymond's beard during all that stuff, you know?
It's true.
So is it an age thing? Is this run coming to an end, and is Golden State higher up starting to think, you know what? We might need to retool this thing. We've had our fun in the sun. Now it's time to move on and maybe move some pieces around. So I wonder if age is a thing and if this run is done. But you can definitely see Clay getting hot, Steph getting hot, especially at home, and even this thing up and give themselves a chance.
I mean, that's what
It reminds me of the Thunder. Went down in San Antonio. Went down 0-2.
Happened twice.
They came back.
I mean, because you can obviously – the difference is, though, even in this situation, the Warriors have a better chance at that than the Thunder. Because no offense to the Kings, but this isn't 66-win San Antonio like it was in 2016 when the Thunder did that. Mm-hmm. This isn't Tim Duncan and Tony Parker even the first time it happened. I think your question, though, is very interesting as far as what happens. Draymond has a player option for next year.
You mean what happens in the future,
yes,
not just
yes,
for the
yes,
series,
yes.
but the future.
Yeah, is this the end of Golden State as we know them? $27.5 million player option for next year, meaning if he wanted to leave, he could. I think Clay is the exact same way. Let me look that up here. I had this up and then I hit the wrong tab. Clay is an option. It's just a $43.2 million for next year. So you can definitely you can see, would they want to get together? Okay, let's do one last run next year, or is it that time? I saw that the Lakers supposedly will really strongly go after Draymond Green. If he declines that player option, that's somebody that apparently the Lakers have their eye on in Draymond.
Yeah, I could definitely see him making that jump.
And he's a guy, we talk about the superstars and not fitting together and this and that. Draymond feels like a guy that's like a Swiss Army knife, right? He can fit into anywhere. Because of his unselfishness with the way he plays, which is such a difference from the selfishness that he displays when these rifts happen. And he takes himself out of the game in a spot where Golden State really would prefer to have him out on the floor and try to steal one of those games at home. So it's the Kings are performing as they have throughout the regular season, getting up and down, they're scoring points, winning games. So this is a challenge, like we said, that the Golden State hasn't had to overcome in the Steph Curry era, being down 0-2 in a playoff series. So that's going to be interesting to see how this thing transpires. Tonight, which team do you think is in more must-win mode? Cleveland against New York or Phoenix against the Clippers? Both are at home.
Both are one's at Cleveland, one's at Phoenix.
Yeah, they're both home teams. They
down
both
0-1.
lost one.
Yeah. I'll say Phoenix.
Because?
I can see Cleveland dropping this one and going to New York and getting a couple back. I can't see that with Phoenix going to L.A. because L.A., the Clippers are a better team than New York. Am I making sense here? And so I think more pressure's on Phoenix to get game 2 here. When you went all in and got Kevin Durant, now's the time for it to pay off immediately.
Yeah, it's interesting because the matchup predictor on ESPN's analytics has the Clippers has a 56% chance to win this game. I would not. Vegas doesn't believe it. What's the spread? This says 8.5, but I think that's using something different. I mean, I think Phoenix is obviously.
Phoenix has got to take advantage of
Paul
Paul George being out.
8.5.
Paul George is still out, right?
Yeah, he's not going to play. So I don't think he's playing the whole series.
They've got to take advantage of that. That's why it blew my mind when they dropped game 1.
I think Phoenix is going to blow LA out tonight.
Has a feeling like it will.
You see these in these series a lot of times. Clippers, maybe they're not happy, but they're certainly satisfied with the split in the first 2. And a lot of times in these game 2s, you see the home team, desperate, having to win games, having to play well, and a lot of times they do. And so I really have a feeling Phoenix is going to blow LA out. On the other one, though, the Knicks are just pretty good. They really kind of had control of that game in game 1 throughout, and then all of a sudden imploded a little bit to let Cleveland back in it for it to be as close as it was.
Yeah.
And then they kind of make a run and end up winning the game. So for me, I think who could I see coming back from 0-2? I would say Phoenix more than Cleveland just because of Durant and Booker. They're going to have a game or two where they're just unstoppable. Whereas, outside of Donovan Mitchell, does he have enough help to do that on the Cleveland side? I don't know. So I think Cleveland has to win this game. Otherwise, they may be toast. Phoenix better win, but I don't think they have to. But we shall see. Hey, you know what's the best part of Paul Jones Drug?
Oh boy, there's a lot there.
Individual packaging of your daily meds. You know what that's called?
Convenience packaging.
Convenience packaging. What is that? Well, guess what? We'll tell you next. And also, maybe some baseball, maybe some NFL draft. Man, the NFL draft is like 9 days away.
Yeah, I know.
I've been putting it off, not wanting to beat it into the ground before we actually get there. But at some point, we're going to have to start the NFL draft talk. Will it be next? That's another reason to stay tuned. Find out right here on the Skinny on Sports.
Paul Jones Drug is Elk City's most experienced compounding pharmacy, meaning they can custom make your prescription medications to your doctor's specifications, safely and effectively providing you with exactly what you need. And for your convenience, Paul Jones Drug has a drive-through pickup window as well as curbside service for testing and vaccinations, and offers free local delivery. Just a couple reasons you should choose Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main Street in Elk City.
I'm Rodney Skinner with Paul Jones Drug, and I promise we provide care you can trust.
The Skinny on Sports.
But is having this minor skill worth being so unattractive? That's for the fan to decide. Yay!
Welcome back. Final segment of this Paul Jones Drug Tuesday. Convenience packaging is where we left off. What is convenience packaging? Well, at Paul Jones Drug, it is individual packaging of your daily meds. So what does that mean? That means you can throw away the pill caddy. You do not have to load that puppy up on a weekly or monthly basis because Paul Jones Drug does it for you. All you have to do is rip open the package and take your medication. Let me ask you a question, Jared. Would you feel more comfortable taking your pills that you put into the pill caddy, or would you feel more comfortable taking the pills that Rodney put into the package?
I would feel more comfortable letting a professional do it.
Me too. I would rather have Rodney doing it than me.
Yeah.
And that way...
In all honesty, and seriously, this is great for the elderly who more often than not take a lot of medication and maybe, they lose count or, you know what I mean? Put it in the hands of professionals for not just convenience but also for safety. So a loved one doesn't forget to take a crucial pill or over-medicate themselves. Urgent text. I can't read it on air.
No, there's some words I can't say there.
I would love to read it on air.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Also, durable medical equipment, walkers, canes, crutches, wraps, braces, etc. Most insurances are accepted. But here's the thing, Jared. It's not just a drugstore. They've got all kinds of cool gifts and greeting cards. You've got Mother's Day coming up. You've got graduation coming up. Perfect spot.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up.
For really neat gifts and greeting cards at Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main, right here in Elks City.
I'm glad you reminded me about Mother's Day.
Hey, you're welcome. I'll do it again. I believe it's I think it's May 14th.
Might need to go by and see Rodney.
Now, let me ask you.
There's a lot coming up in the middle of May. You got graduations, like you just said, Mother's Day. I mean, I got a special graduate. I got a niece that's graduating, and I need to get her something.
May 14th.
May 14th. Thank you for the reminder.
May 14th. Okay, Jared, you want to talk baseball or do you want to talk mock draft?
Honestly, baseball, if I'm honest with you.
Well, here's why
it's your show. You can go.
Here's why I'd agree with
direction.
You, because with a 3-round mock here that Kuiper and McShay have done, I don't think we'll be giving it the due justice
in like 9 minutes that we got.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
So just like baseball, we will speed things up and talk about it here in this smaller segment. Once again, I saw, who was it? It was the Red Sox. I think it was Red Sox was it the Red Sox and the Angels, or was it the series before? They played a game in an hour 57.
It might have been the game before, but it involved the Angels. Yeah.
Was it the Angels and the Boston?
Hours.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it was Boston. I think that might have been the first game. One was yesterday after the Boston
I think it was
Marathon.
Boston and whoever they played before. Let me go back to Sunday.
It
was the Angels.
It was Angels. Was it Angels in Boston or was
Angels in Boston?
Okay.
2-1.
Okay.
Hour 57. Because yesterday was the Boston Marathon game during the afternoon.
Right. It was a quick one.
Do you think it really helps? I mean, we talked about, we saw the first weekend ratings. I'll have to look up some TV ratings as they become available more. But, I mean, that was the only change other than the excitement of a new season, which every season ought to have excitement for fan base. You know what I'm saying? There's no obvious difference in, like, there wasn't some player coming over from Japan or some rookie. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't really an outlier of a circumstance. So you have to think that a lot of the interest there and the reason why the ratings were way higher for that first opening weekend had to do with curiosity or of what was going to happen with the time clock, the pitch clock.
That's why I've been kind of holding my assessment of all this until we get maybe a quarter or a third way through the season and to see, is the interest still there? The speeding up the game helps, but I have a question about that. I have a question about obviously it keeps fan interest when you keep it going and the pace of play and everything. But does it really help the pitcher? And let me set it up to you like this. Last night listening to the Rangers play, and the game sped up. DeGrom's on there. He's throwing a gem. He got to the top of the fourth. Rangers up the bat, and they're attacking first pitch, and it's ground out, fly out, ball one, ball two, another fly out. I mean, quick inning, 1, 2, 3. And as soon as it felt like, and they were kind of joking about it, but it's like, man, DeGrom barely had time to get the towel and wipe the sweat off his brow and get a drink of Gatorade before he has to go back out there. Went out there, got through the fourth inning, and then all of a sudden, go to the fifth, bottom of the fifth, DeGrom's been yanked. And I'm sitting here, I'm working on some things. I'm thinking, did DeGrom need that extra? Did he need time to sit and rest? And not just him, but do the pitchers like this where they go, man, I need time to rehab my, to recoup here. Now he can blame his batters for being ultra aggressive and popping out and grounding out, sure. But see where my question is it detrimental to the pitcher? Speeding up the game like this, is it bad on their arms?
See, I would think they'd want it to go as fast as possible
for pace,
in rhythm and all that kind of stuff. To me, the times that you would see maybe a guy kind of come off of what he had been doing through the early innings would be when his team did score 3 or 4 runs and he had to sit there for 20 or 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't think that would bother him.
And that was the other side of it I was thinking. It's like, well, you've seen pitchers. Again, DeGrom was working on a no-hit. He'd given up an error, or his team gave him an error, only base runner at that time. And I'm thinking, yeah, sometimes you see that. You see guys throwing a gem, and then the bats come alive, and they have like a 5-run inning, and they've been sitting there for a long time. And you've heard people say, man, that might mess with his rhythm a little bit. He was probably hoping that half inning would have ended a lot earlier. So I thought about that, too. Like, well, he's just going to go back out there and throw some more strikes.
Right. Yeah, here you go on the text line. As a pitcher, I'd like the fast pace, especially if you're dealing.
Okay.
That's the way it seemed to me, too.
And I get that. And pitchers mentally think that. But physically, do you think, and I'm no expert. I'm no kinesiologist by any means. But is it detrimental on the pitcher's arm by just going up there as fast as you can and throwing and not having a lot of rest in between? Just a theory, just a question.
I got this, the one change, and I didn't even, I guess I missed this part. Then I was watching, I guess Sunday, Texas was playing the Astros, and Heaney was on the mound. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize with the limited pickoff, you can't
continue to throw over to first over
That's
and over
right.
again.
Yeah, you're done. Or it's a lot of
How many do you get?
It looked like 2.
Huh.
But then, so the point is, at that time, yeah, it's 2. That's what I thought. It was 2 pickoffs for a runner. At that point, though, the runner knows.
Exactly.
The runner knows he can't throw over.
He's going to get a half a step more of a lead.
Easily. And especially against a lefty where you're always kind of hesitant anyway.
Yeah, you're waiting to make sure he's
once he throws over twice, and the announcer said it, well, look out for the stolen base attempt here, and there went Pena, and he easily stole the base.
What about like a snap throw from catcher?
That's different but then all of it matters in the pitch clock.
Yeah.
But to your point about just going and going, if you did get to the point where you're like, okay, I need a little, you throw over. Maybe you throw over once, still have that one in your back pocket for the runner not to just take off. But I think that's a huge part of why I had the stolen base stats. Mm-hmm. It's a huge part of it because of that. And you could just see, okay, that was 2. Yep, look out, here he goes. And sure enough, got a great jump because he knows he has to go. So at that point, the slides as fast as you can slide step one to the plate, and maybe maybe it gives an opportunity, especially if you haven't thrown a pitch yet. If you throw over twice before you even throw a pitch to that batter, maybe that gives opportunities for the mind, the cat and mouse game to start where, okay, do you pitch out to try to give your catchers, he's going, or you think he's going. And so then does a runner, think, okay, I'm not going the first pitch, but I'll go the second. That at least kind of creates some of that back into the game, especially if you hadn't thrown any pitches yet before you exhaust the 2 attempts at a pickoff. So, and sure, stolen bases are up, and they should be. That's a big reason why, where that goes away, the fear of any pickoff, and the catchers are in a bad spot there. Mm-hmm. But it also, it's one of the most exciting plays because you don't, a stolen base is awesome. Like, that whole mechanism of keeping them as close as you can, getting the ball to the plate as fast as you can, quick at the plate, throw it down there. And there you very rarely see one where you're like, oh yeah, he's definitely safe, or he's definitely out. They're all fairly bang bang, to a degree. So that it just creates a little bit more excitement.
The cat and mouse game of it. The manager's going back. Okay, do I send him to second or not? Situational baseball. That's always been one of my favorite parts of the game. Just the situations here. Sitting down, trying to, as a fan too, you're sitting there going, what would I do? Would you send him? Got one out here. Hit and run. What do we do? Need a run. Got to produce one here. How would you do it?
Yeah.
It changes the way a lot of the games are being called too, but from a managerial aspect too.
Yeah, Ricky Henderson, how many bags would he have stolen? I don't know, 200, 300, 250, as many as he wanted.
By the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's a million.
But I still say, and I'm joking here, if the game's going to be shorter, you got to reduce those ticket prices. Right? Like, okay, if I'm paying that much for a ticket, I'm okay spending 5 hours at the ballpark.
You talked about the beer sales.
I saw a guy had an interesting take on that.
Very interesting.
And I don't necessarily disagree.
So a handful of the organizations have extended the beer sales out to the 8th inning because the games being shorter. Yeah, and one of the players said that doesn't make any sense. The whole point of that was that people can sober up. Now, are you going to have a better chance of drunk drivers leaving the park? It's a pretty good point.
Well, it makes a great point.
When you think about it,
a lot of families drive to the park.
That's right.
A lot of families are driving home, and you don't want some idiot ruining someone's night. That makes a great point. It really does.
Yeah, it's something I didn't really think about.
I didn't think about it either. We were jokingly approving it. We like our beer, but we're always safe, But that just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. But baseball's off to a good start. My Brewers are crushing it. 12-5.
It's been a long time since we've been a few weeks into the season, and I still have high hope for the Rangers.
You got a 2-game lead. What's the biggest surprise so far?
I'll
Good or bad?
I'll
Good
still
or bad?
say the Tampa Bay. I'll still say
Are you surprised they're good, or are you surprised they've been this good?
this good. That's this good.
Yeah, I'll agree with this good. I'm not surprised they're good because they're always good.
They're always
no
good.
matter if
They
you forget
find
about
a
them in
way-
the preseason or not.
They find a way to get in the playoffs. But this is a heck of a start for them. Now, the storyline is, can they continue it? It's a
10-0 at home.
long season.
Oh,
long
no doubt.
season.
No doubt.
Maybe a little surprised about the sluggish start from the defending champs.
Houston and L.A. That's
But-
what I was going to say.
But it is a long season. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not, I can have fun with it now that the Rangers won a series against them. But I'm trying not to poke the bear too much because, yeah, again, it's a long season.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, 8-9 for the Astros, 8-9 for the Dodgers. Yeah, great point on that I just got texted. You could make an argument the Rays are the best run organization in sports, not only the MLB, but in sports. You can absolutely make that argument.
And their fans don't give a crap.
Yeah, I know, that's
they don't
what's
even
sad.
show up. That's what's sad.
I should have been a Rays fan, Jared, just so they'll have one.
They'll have one. Well, like many other Rays fans, you wouldn't be able to go to the game. You wouldn't go to the games
That's true.
for running reasons.
I'd
You're in
fit
here
right
in Western
in.
Oklahoma. You'd fit right in, yeah.
Yeah, baseball is good so far. Hopefully it kind of continues.
I hope it does.
You know what I like? You know what I'm liking? What I'm liking so far is the Angels are 8-8, and the longer they can stay toward the top of that division, the better chance that we'll have of getting Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani on the stages that they deserve to be on. I know that's not going to make you or John David happy because you root for teams in that division, but for me, just as a baseball looker-honor fan, I like that they're there. I want them to be involved in the pennant race. I want them to be in the playoffs.
I agree, and as long as they hover around the upper part of the West and have that hope alive, not just for the postseason's sake, but for the entire season, everyone's going to pay attention and watch.
I think it makes it a better chance.
When the stars are winning,
yes,
people are going to watch. It's just pure and simple. And for the record, I have nothing against those guys. I just have something against the jerseys they wear.
That's right.
I would love to see them wear different jerseys.
Yeah, it'd be easier to
Be a lot,
make the playoffs.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
St. Louis being in the bottom of the Central is not something you see very often either. But like I said, it's early.
It's April 18th.
17 games in. 15 to 17, depending on who you are. All right, that'll wrap it up. Paul Jones Drug Tuesday. Thank you so much to Rodney and the gang down there at 809 North Main right here in Elk City. Paul Jones Drug Care you can trust. We'll be back tomorrow. Skinny on Sports right here on the Sports Animal.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.
That ball is blistered to right. Way back. Goodbye.
Paul Jones Drug offers a free service that makes taking your daily medications safe and easy. It's called convenience packaging, meaning they can combine all your daily medications and put them in sealed, separate daily packages. This process replaces you from having to fill your daily medication dispenser. And as always, Paul Jones Drug prepares individual blister packaging for long-term care patients. With their drive-through window, curbside service, and free local delivery, it's just more reasons you should choose Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main Street in Elk City.
I'm Rodney Skinner with Paul Jones Drug, and I promise we provide care you can trust.
Paul Jones Drug offers a free service that makes taking your daily medications safe and easy. It's called convenience packaging, meaning they can combine all your daily medications and put them in sealed, separate daily packages. This process replaces you from having to fill your daily medication dispenser. And as always, Paul Jones Drug prepares individual blister packaging for long-term care patients. With their drive-through window, curbside service, and free local delivery, it's just more reasons you should choose Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main Street in Elk City.
I'm Rodney Skinner with Paul Jones Drug, and I promise we provide care you can trust.